Number 8, what's your favorite quote?
You can't, never could until you tried.
Who quotes that? Whose quote is that?
My mother.
Who do you look up to?
I look up to so many people.
What is success to you?
2 seconds.
2 seconds?
What's success? Say it. What's success?
The podcast starts now.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the No Easy Way Out podcast, episode 31. How you guys feeling today?
Great.
Fantastic. How are you, Tony?
I'm feeling great. Episode 31. Today's episode is extra special to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, because March 1st, this last week, we are celebrating 5 years at AZEE. 5 years. Let's give ourselves a round of applause for that.
We've been celebrating every day here at AZEE, yeah?
We have literally been celebrating every single day. We determined that we were going to celebrate a different national day every day. So we have the national day calendar that we use for a lot of our social media, and every day we're picking a new one and we're celebrating it. And so go to our Instagram and Facebook pages and check those things out. You'll get a little kick out of those. We put a little fun spin on it.
We're having a blast, yeah.
We are having a good time. We probably should be getting more work done, but we're just having
That's true.
we're just having fun here.
Yeah, the trick shots yesterday was like 3 hours of our time trying
to
film those trick shots.
To get 5 trick shots took us a while, and they weren't even that tricky.
Right,
we're just not that good at basketball. But we're having a good time with it, and so stay tuned every day this month, except for Sundays. We will be bringing you a new video. Today is National
Cheese Doodle Day.
Cheese Doodle Day. So we're going to be doing something.
Eating some cheese puffs.
Yeah, awesome. Actually,
stay tuned.
Actually, last Thursday was Cheese Doodle Day, not today.
Wait, what?
Last Thursday.
Yeah. This will air on.
This will air on Monday, so we're not talking about today now. We're talking about last Thursday. All right. So, anyways, we are excited. So today I have a couple of our employees on the podcast. You all know Zack Snider. He's our co-host. But that we haven't introduced to you, and you've heard us talk about her a lot, the one, the only, the incomparable.
The Queen of AZEE.
The Queen of AZEE, Brenda Bruce. Brenda, welcome to the podcast. First
you.
time.
Thank you.
You excited to be here?
Sure.
Brenda loves being on camera. Brenda does everything around here for us. This place would have closed years ago if I hadn't found Brenda.
I believe
it. And she has been a godsend to AZEE. She handles all of the administrative, organizational, financial, anything that requires adulting. She takes care of it because I'm just a big kid and I don't know how to do any of that stuff, or at least do it well. When I gave Brenda my finances, I was mortified and embarrassed, but she has taken it to another level, and she has really been a huge blessing to me and my family to our business. So Brenda, thank you so much for all that you do for AZEE, and thank you for being on the podcast today. We're excited. We're going to start a little bit. We're coming to you, as always, from the Armory right here in beautiful downtown Owasso. But I want to start today by just kind of giving everybody a little bit of my story, the story of how it all began, and how AZEE kind of came to be. So buckle up. We're ready. You guys are ready for this story? You guys have probably heard this story, so don't fall asleep on me.
We're buckled anyways.
But I'll try to keep
we'll get ready.
I'll try to keep it.
I'll drink my coffee.
You drink your coffee. All right. Zach's got a Red Bull smoothie over there, so he should be good. Shout out to Big B.
Shout out to Big B. Who's our sponsor for today, though?
Our sponsor today is AZEE Business Solutions, where we grow your brand from A to Z.
Good stuff.
We're going to talk about that now. So I actually grew up in church, and during my teenage years, my youth pastor had a profound impact on my life. And I thought, I would like to do that. I would like to have an impact on young people's lives. And so I committed my life to becoming a youth pastor. I went to college for that and studied that. And when I got out of college, I became the youth pastor at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Corunna, Michigan, and did that for a couple years. And then I was the associate pastor there. Michigan's economy had a really tough time around 2008. Because I had to kind of look for a new job. And so through all that, I ended up moving to New York, which is where my wife is from. And I took on a general manager's role at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Saratoga Springs, New York. So all of these things that I mentioned, so our youth pastor and now general manager of a hotel, has nothing to do with branding or marketing. But you're going to learn how they all tied in here in a second. But I went in on Friday. I was the associate pastor of a mid-sized church, and then on Monday I'm now the general manager of this humongous hotel in upstate New York, an unfamiliar place, an unfamiliar job. And so I just committed myself to learning it, and I took some time to understand the industry. Obviously, being a pastor, I knew a lot about hospitality, but never in that context. And so I actually did some research and found the top 10 comfort inns in America, and I called their general managers and asked them 10 questions. And 7 of those general managers took the time to really answer my questions. The other 3 kind of blew me off like I was wasting their time. But a lot of them said a lot of different things, but there was a few things that all of them said that has really helped me in the hotel industry, and it's really helped me today. And the one thing that really stood out that all of them said was, you have to have the right people working for you. You have to have the right people. And so through that time and even now, I have committed myself to surrounding myself with good people. And Zack and Brenda are an example of those great people. They have really helped AZEE become what it is. And so I took that hotel that was a middle of the road. We were ranked about number 700 out of the brand, and within 2 years, we were a platinum award-winning hotel. We actually took our staff service ranking from number 1,399 out of 1,400 hotels again to number 36 in the nation. At one point, we were the number 1 Comfort Inn in New York State in all categories. We got Gold Award, Platinum Award. I got a plaque from the CEO of Choice Hotels for the highest complaint reduction of any hotel in a 1-year period. So I was excited about that. Did that for about 3.5 years, and as things would happen, we got homesick. We missed Owasso, this little place here in the middle of Michigan that nobody knows. It was our home, and we missed it. And so we found a way to come back. We ran the hotel here locally, and that, again, was a struggling hotel that we just committed ourselves to helping it, and we turned that hotel around until they sold the hotel. 3 years later, we had completely changed it. They were able to sell it for almost double what they were asking when I first took over. And the new owners came in and kind of wanted to take it in a different direction. Now, all this time, through being a youth pastor, an associate pastor, being a general manager of 2 different hotels, experiences in New York and experiences in Michigan, I was learning a lot of things. Didn't realize I was grooming myself to become an entrepreneur. I'd always had that in my heart. I always felt like I should work for myself, but I never really knew what I would do or what I wanted to do, but it was all kind of part of the plan and part of the process. And so when the new owners came in, they kind of wanted to do things different. I felt like I was starting all over. And so a company that was one of our biggest clients, Crest Pontoon, here in Owasso, Michigan, they're one of the fastest growing pontoon manufacturers in the country. They had been recruiting me for over a year to come run their customer service division. Well, again, another industry I didn't know anything about, but I decided to take it on because things weren't going well at the hotel from my perspective. And I went there, and they gave me an office, like 6 or 7 employees, and a really low workload. My job was Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, no nights, no weekends, which was the opposite of the hotel business. They gave me 3 weeks paid vacation, a nice salary, and literally I could sit at my desk for at least half the day and watch Netflix. And you would have thought that this was the dream job, but I was miserable. I was unhappy. I wasn't doing something that I enjoyed or was passionate about, and I just wasn't thriving there. And all throughout that time, I would come home and I would tell my wife, honey, I don't like this. And she'd be like, just wait it out. It's a good job. It's good for our family. We get to see you a lot more. And I certainly loved being able to see my family more, but because the hotel business really took me away from them. But I just wasn't happy. And so I started thinking about a way out, how to get out of this thing that I was in. And I started thinking, what about starting my own business? And I talked to people about it. And at this time, I had 5 children, and I had a steady paycheck and steady income. And so to leave all that and try to go and start a new business with no guarantee when my next paycheck would come was a scary thing. It was a daunting thing. And it wasn't something that my wife was super excited about. So I met with a couple investors and tried to get some people on board. I decided that I would start a marketing company. I knew that I had a knack for helping people grow businesses. I had helped a lot of different organizations. I had helped a lot of different ministries in our church grow. I had helped 2 hotels grow. I had to do all of the branding and marketing there and the web design and the graphic design. I kind of had to teach myself that. So I thought, well, if anything, I know how to help businesses grow. So then I came up with a bunch of different names, and I could show you all the old logos I tried to design and everything. But we came up with AZEE Business Solutions, growing your brand from A to Z. And I started out in my house in a little small office in the corner that we kind of made, didn't even have 4 walls, and just started going to meet with clients and asking them if they would give me the opportunity to design some projects. And one of our first clients ever was Johnny V's Smokehouse. The new owners had just taken over. And then we got the Pines Country Inn and McLaren Rental. And shortly right thereafter, we got Woodworth Commercial. Woodworth Commercial was actually the first company that hired us to build a website for them. So we had a few big players that believed in us. And I just kind of always thought I would be a single-person entrepreneur working out of my house. And it got to the point where working out of my house was rather difficult. It was hard. The kids coming in and out, especially during the summer when the kids are home from school, it was really hard to concentrate. So I found myself going to coffee shops and working. But then when you go to coffee shops, you live in a small town and you know everybody. So everybody that comes in wants to have a 5-minute conversation, which I'm a talker, so I enjoyed that. But, 10, 15, 2-hour conversations. I heard you whisper that, Brenda. Everything you say can be heard on these mics. So we're talkers, and so I just found myself wasting a lot of time throughout the day having these conversations and not getting things done. And so I talked to Randy Woodworth, for Woodworth Commercial, and I said, I need something cheap. I need an office. It can be small. I have $100 a month. What can you give me? And he said, I got the perfect spot in their building, and it was basically a closet. Like, it was like they drywalled. Actually, when he showed it to me, there was a bunch of paint buckets and everything in there. They drywalled it for me and put carpet down, and it literally was like an 8x6, like, janitor's closet. But I set up a desk in there and my iMac, and I got to work. And I would go there, and it was quiet, and I could get work done. And the business started to grow, and it just got to the point where I'm like, man, I'm not smart enough, nor good enough, nor organized enough to do this on my own, and the workload's getting too heavy. I need to find somebody. I need to hire somebody who can help me with the organization, help me with managing clients, help me with the social media load. And through our church, I knew of Brenda Bruce, and I approached her about coming to work for me, and she seemed interested. I wasn't sure why, because she's much more talented than what I could offer to pay her. But she came on, and at that time, the office was too small for both of us to work in. So we gave up that office, and literally we were both trying to work remotely. Like, she'd work from her house, I'd work from my house. Some days we would meet down at Foster Coffee. Some days we'd meet at Guido's. Wherever we could get a quiet place, sometimes we'd meet at our church. And it just was extremely inconvenient, and we were not able to collaborate on things the way we needed to. So again, I talked to Randy about getting us another space, and then he had a spot up on the 3rd floor of the Exchange building. You remember that? Mm-hmm. We got this, I think it was a 10 by 12 office. Yep. We had a little corner desk. I was in one corner, you were in the other, and we both kind of just sat there and worked. We had a little coffee maker, and we had a TV. I could watch SportsCenter all day while you tried to work. And
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed there. And we just kind of made that work for us for a little while. But again, it just became to the point where we realized we needed another person. And the workload, again, was getting to be too much. And so we brought on Laura Mckay. And she was a talented graphic designer. So we got another office suite right next door, like a 10 by 10 or something. Mm-hmm. So now we had 2 office suites. So we're like ballers now. We're like big ballers. We're feeling like brand new carpet paint. Yeah, we had fun decorating those offices. It smelled like paint for about 2 weeks. So we were getting high every day. So that's always fun at work. And
get more stuff done.
Get a lot. Well, depends on what kind of high, I guess. But no, but we were having a great time, and Laura was doing good, and Brenda was doing well. They had their own office. I had my own office. And then somebody approached us about the Armory and about what do they call that? Pre-leasing or a letter of intent, basically. Sign a letter of intent that we would lease some space here. And so at that time, we knew this was going to be premium space, and I didn't know that we'd be able to afford it. But about 2 years before we moved in, I just signed and said, all right, we're going to be there. We're going to be ready by the time they come. And I just said, give me the smallest office they have there. Well, by the time they were ready to open, we actually needed 2 of the bigger spaces they have. And so we got those. At one point, we had 3 spaces in here. And then we brought on Zack Snider, the infamous social media video guy extraordinaire. And at first, he was working in a factory. Wasn't real happy, and we offered him a job with no skill or no ability or no talent, but with a desire to learn. maybe a little skill, but kind of gave him the vision. And when he first came, it was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to work out. We didn't know what to have you do. You know, we realized that as much work as we had to do, we didn't have time to stop and train. And so for the first probably 2 months, it was kind of like, I don't know what to give Zack to do today. And I think he was getting frustrated, and I knew that there was potential there, but I wasn't sure kind of how to. Well, then he just started picking up on things really quickly. And then by that time, Laura actually had determined to move on to some other things, and Zack took over. And now here we are, 5 years in. Business is doing well. We've worked with well over 100 different companies and helping them grow their brand. Today we are hosting nearly 50 websites for different companies. We are managing over 70 social media accounts. We are working on graphic design projects literally almost every day. And we are just a small part of a lot of really successful businesses experiencing growth. And it's awesome, and we love it. And we are excited. So guys, congratulations to us, I guess, on 5 years. And I'm excited about what the next 5 years I have to bring. So before I go into hearing your guys' side of the story, I want to thank a few people. Obviously, I want to thank Brenda and Zack for all that you've done and all that you continue to do for AZEE. And it could be my only hope that I would be with you guys for the longevity of it. Obviously, I would never make anybody sign a lifetime contract, but the contract is available if you're interested in signing it. I love having you guys here. I really couldn't imagine AZEE without you guys, so thank you so much for all that you do. I also want to thank, if she's listening, Laura Mckay. She gave us a real solid, probably 15 months of work here, and has really developed a lot of projects. And even today, we stay in communication with her, and the door is always open to have her help us work on different projects and different things. But we appreciate, Laura, all that you did for us. I want to thank Jordan Sovis. Jordan and I have known each other for a lot of years, and he has been instrumental in a lot of our video production and in helping train Zack even on a lot of things. And we love working with Jordan. Jordan Noble as well. She is a local photographer. She does a lot of our professional photography. These two are just phenomenal freelancers. They own their own businesses, but they work with AZEE and are just phenomenal people to work with, and we wouldn't be where we're at without them. Josh Levesque, who is a freelance web designer and a pastor here in the community. He has done a lot of web projects with us, so we thank you for him.
My landlord also.
Zack's landlord. So
right upstairs.
We got to get to the point where we can trade services for rent. That would be that would be nice. Tashina Woodard, who still works for us part-time, and she's actually starting her own business right now. She's a graphic designer. She's been with us for about 6 months, and she's now kind of doing her own thing as well, and so I want to thank her. And then all my family, my wife Danica, thank you so much for putting up with me and being a supporter, my cheerleader, my kids who have been here, Micah, who has helped us with a lot of projects and still continues to do so. There's so many people involved, and of course all of our clients. We certainly couldn't do what we do without you, so thank you for being part of the team, and thank you for allowing us to help you and allowing us to do what we love every single day. It's a mouthful. That's a great story, right?
It's a long story, but it was a good one.
And you guys didn't fall asleep.
Podcast is over.
I didn't fall asleep.
All right, now the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Well,
I
done.
just want to ask these guys a couple questions. And Brenda, you remember back to those early days.
Oh, absolutely.
When I first asked you to come work for a marketing company, what were you thinking? What were your thoughts?
Well, I didn't have a lot of experience in the marketing
I remember you telling me that.
area. My background is teaching, so I'm more about kids and teaching them.
You teach Zack and I every day.
Yes, I do. and I'm great at cleaning. You know, I had my own cleaning business, so that
keeps
kind
the
of
offices nice and
handy.
tidy. It would
Yeah.
be a mess
Yes,
if you weren't
definitely. The first thing I thought, well, a lot of it was you were asking me to do things that you just didn't have time to do.
Yeah.
You were sending me spreadsheets, you were having me do research, and those things are things that go along with my personality as far as organizing and
Very much so.
and just
Details.
helping, yes, the details. So I would say that was something that was intriguing. So plus it was something out of the norm for me.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. I like learning. So it was something that I thought, you know what, this is the opportunity. This is something I need to just jump in and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So I knew nothing about social media, but I knew how to research, and I knew how to teach myself a little bit more about what I needed to be putting on these clients' pages and getting to know them and just getting a relationship with them, so that way I could actually be able to market well for them.
Yeah.
So.
And I've given Brenda a ton of new tasks over the years, and she's always
Every task you don't want.
every task I don't want. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But every time I do it, she's a little hesitant because she takes everything extremely seriously, but she always knocks it out of the park. I mean, you always do the research that's necessary. And so I was just telling Zack earlier, you know, he's like me. He doesn't have the organization bug necessarily. I said, well, if you ever start your own company, you got to find yourself a Brenda. But there's very few Brendas in this world. So thank you, Brenda, for helping us and being here for us. I am sure you got to have some fun or fond memories of those early days in the little corner office or in the working at the coffee shop.
Well, I would have to say the thing about the office in the Exchange building, probably the fun fact was the 3 flight of stairs.
Yes,
so.
every day.
Every day was
you
an
couldn't
exercise.
talk for the first 20 minutes because you were breathing heavy.
By the time you get up there, you were like, okay.
But we were committed.
Give me 20 minutes.
Right. There was an elevator, but we were committed to take the stairs because at that time we didn't have the corporate fitness coliseum membership.
There's no easy way out. Yes, you just walk the stairs.
Exactly. That was the beginning of the No Easy Way Out podcast. Taking those stairs.
I always knew when Tony was coming because I could hear him coming up the stairs.
Oh yeah. Usually by the third flight, my steps went from just gentle steps to just stomping because I was dying. I mean, this is 300-pound Tony.
Yeah.
And so.
And
it didn't help.
I love the aspect, too, that we were able to work alongside the chamber. I think that was a huge benefit to us. That's when Sue Osika was in running things there, and she put in the word to so many people in town.
Yeah,
in the
she really, really did.
I think we developed a lot of new we actually acquired a lot of new clients because of her. So I liked that social aspect of it.
Yeah.
Just having them there and just being able to connect with the chamber right off the bat.
Yep.
So we saw them every day. They saw us every day. We built a great relationship with them, and I think that really helped a lot with our brand.
And we followed the chamber.
Business.
We followed the chamber right here to the Armory. They're here in this building with us, and they
do.
I mean, that really put us on the map. It really did, because nobody knew who we were. You know, Brenda started going to all of the networking events because I don't enjoy going to those. And it really put us on the map. And Sue was awesome. I mean, she was our biggest cheerleader, and she still is out there doing that. And but yeah, Jeff and Sue Cadillac and all of them at the chamber, thank you guys so much. And I would say get involved with your local chamber, but don't just sign up for a membership and hope that they bring you stuff. You got to get involved and do some of the things. And Brenda's gotten involved in the Shiawassee Connections group through the chamber. She's actually running it now. And that organization has grown from about 6 or 7 members to well over 20,
We're
right?
27.
27 members.
Yesterday.
That's amazing. And so she's, again, another thing she's knocked out of the park. And all of those things are help bringing us exposure. And now, I mean, AZEE's at the point where literally we get calls every day of people looking to us to help them with business instead of us having to go out and seek those things. So, well, Zack, what about you? Do you have any fond memories? You've been here now, 15 months?
15 months, yep.
15 mons. And what are some of your fondest memories so far?
I would just say every time I get to work with Jordan Sovis, he's super talented, and he's always so patient. Just to teach me stuff. I'm just some kid that, is just there to learn, and he's always so happy just to teach me the smallest things that I should already know. And he's just a great guy.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of freelancers over the years, and some of them I've only worked on 1 or 2 projects with. The thing that I like a lot about Jordan Noble and Jordan Sovis, and we still work with other freelancers, but those 2 in particular, they never seem impatient.
Yep.
Sometimes when you're working with clients, the needs change on the spot, or the place changes on the spot, or the time changes on the spot, or they need more than we thought they were going to need. And Jordan never seem agitated by that or put out. They don't absorbently charge more money because, I had to spend an extra 15 minutes. And they're so generous to just teach and lend their services, and they're really, really great people. And so, they're people I would highly recommend working with in the area of video and photography. They are awesome. Well, what do you guys like? I mean, obviously you're still here. Maybe you're looking for new jobs and I don't know it, but it seems to me like you guys like working here. What do you like working about AZEE?
Well, I think from the beginning, the personal growth of it. So because the fact that you gave me everything, I had to figure out everything.
Right.
Especially everything that was very unfamiliar.
So the
to me.
challenge.
So just the challenge and being able to apply the skills I had, but then also being able to teach myself and learn and ask questions and figure things out. So, I mean, like social media was one of those things, and, you know, how many hashtags you put on things and, you know, what do you put there? And
in our day, hashtag meant pound.
And then I was able to, I mean, I've never done mobile photography, so it was nice because I was able to then dive into that and use that in the social media and be able to go out and go to these places for the clients and take pictures for them. So that was another skill that I really didn't have under my belt, but it was a personal growth thing.
Yeah.
I would say definitely the connection, just having meetings, just having
getting to meet new people
through whether it's meetings, and it's just keeping in contact with those people. I love communicating with all of our clients and being, you know, when they ask me a question, I'm there. I answer it by the end of the day. So, and then I would just say for me as a mom, the flexibility of it. So I mean, I could probably go get another job, but it's 9 to 5, and I love to be available to pick my daughter up. I love to be able to, if there was a luncheon yesterday, I was able to take an hour off for lunch. So
able to bring your daughter here to work after school.
Yep,
one of the perks at AZEE, and there are very few, but one of the perks is we let our employees kind of set their own schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
But I am always here first.
Yeah, Brenda's always here right at 8 a.m. And if she's going to be late, she texts me knowing that I still won't be here. But she is always punctual and on time. But, I mean, if you work with trustworthy people, I don't think any company could do that. But if you have trustworthy people that enjoy what they do and are committed to you and committed to doing it right, then you can give them that flexibility. And with Zack and Brenda both, I've let them just set your own schedule and come in when you want to and leave when you need to, as long as your work's getting done. There are days where I say, hey, I need everybody here at 8 a.m. or whatever to work on a project together. But most days it's just come in when you're ready, but just come ready to work. And it's worked well for us. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that I've enjoyed seeing you grow and increase your capacity and overcome some of your own self-doubt, and as you continue to do that. And so, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart and from Danica's heart for all that you've done for AZEE. And so, Zack, what about you? What do you like about working here?
Yeah, the environment's just really chill. You know, everyone's always having a good time. It's not like super tense or anything.
Yeah.
And then
even when you lose my
even
equipment.
when I lose stuff, we always just he doesn't
it's
yell
so
at anyone.
Chill. I don't
it's
even hear
chill.
you.
Yeah.
It's like I'm next door and I don't even hear you.
Yeah.
No.
You're so chill.
Another thing I would say is like there's never like a week where you do the same thing every day, like all the time. You know, like you're always doing something different from day to day, whether it's social media or video or web design or something like that. You know, so I'm always doing something different, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The variety.
Right. Yeah.
Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah. My last job, I was just throwing boards on a machine all day. So.
Yeah.
So I like it. Yeah.
That gets
nice.
monotonous.
It
that
does.
gets monotonous.
Definitely does. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am with you there. I am not a routine person. That's why the job I had at the pontoon factory, it should have been the dream job, and for some people it might have been, but just to sit there in an office and do the same mind-numbing things.
Yeah, even sitting at the same desk every day, I started to get, like I need to switch desks or something, Like I don't like sitting
and
in the same.
And you can. We have other desks to choose from. So
I've been thinking about it.
Help yourself.
I probably will soon, yeah.
Just don't kick Brenda out of hers.
I won't. I'll never do that.
Brenda gets her. I don't even have my own office. We let Brenda have her own office, though, because I can't sit in quiet. I'm too ADD.
She's the queen, yeah.
She's the queen. But Brenda, she has to do serious things, and so we let her kind of have some peace and quiet. She'll come over here sometimes when we're being too loud. But well, you guys got any questions for me? I'm sure that this is your opportunity to ask the boss all the things you've been wondering about.
Yeah, I got one right here.
Oh, let's hear it.
What would you say to 20-year-old Tony?
What would I say to 20-year-old?
So you're almost 40, right?
I always ask our guests that question.
Yeah. Now I'm asking you that question.
What would I say? I would say to 20-year-old Tony, I would say be patient. I would say what you're doing today is not going to look like what you're doing 20 years from now. And I would say don't try to get ahead of yourself. Success doesn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process. It's a road. But I would definitely say, don't take the easy way out.
There you go. What were you doing when you were 20?
Well, when I was 20, let's see, I was finishing up my last year of pastor's college. I was an intern at Emmanuel Baptist Church, and I was living in a really dumpy apartment next door with a gentleman named John Vondolowski, who has been a guest on the podcast.
Yes, yeah.
And one of the most unique people you'll ever meet, and I was a roommate with him for a year, and I was eating ramen noodles and cans of corn for dinner every night. That's what I was doing. But I mean, at that time in my life, I literally thought I was just going to be a youth pastor for the rest of my life. And now I look at the guys in the family in our church that works with the youth, and I'm like, how do they have patience for those kids? Like, I think you just grow, and I think listening to, for me, obviously as a Christian, I think the most important thing is listening to the Lord and an understanding that you have a calling and a purpose and going after the purpose. I think that every individual on earth has a purpose and that they should go after it. But I think where a lot of 20-year-olds and 25-year-olds and even 30-year-olds and sometimes even 40-year-olds go wrong is they just lack patience. They lack the patience. They want the results now. They want, and especially, we talk about this on the podcast a lot. In the world of social media, you see the overnight sensations. You see the, people that put out a video or a post and all of a sudden everybody knows who they are and there's this instant fame and success. And so I think everybody wants that, but it's so rare. It's so rare. And you might get that. You might, and that's all right. But I think you're in the top 0.01% if you do. And so if you don't, that's okay. Just be patient. Be patient. Take your time. Stay true to yourself and keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Don't take the easy way out.
Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
You done with your questions?
That's all I want to ask for now.
Okay. So
What do you have?
going back to our office, our first office.
Yeah.
What was something that was your favorite memory or your best memory?
Some of my memories?
or
Well, I remember having a ceiling. That was nice.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you could see
why
our
did you say
offices.
that?
We no longer have one.
If you're looking at Brenda and Zack's shot, you can see a big gray beam shadow coming down behind them. That's because we have this really cool, that's aesthetically pleasing, like beams across the top, but there's no real ceiling. It goes way up. So we get to hear the other offices and what's going on. Sometimes they get to hear us. And
we know all the scoop in the town.
So this podcast is live for them right now. They're listening. So I remember having a ceiling. I do that. I just remember it seemed like in those early days that we just had no idea what the next day was going to bring. We had no idea. There wasn't even, at that time, there wasn't even enough consistent work to make a schedule every day. It was like, all right, today's a new day. What are we doing today? And there was always new projects and different things. And of course, we've kind of now developed where we have kind of ongoing relationships with clients and we kind of know what we're going to do and we plan it out. But back then it was just like, well, what are we doing today? So
some days where Brenda, I forgot we have this event tomorrow. You need to go get all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That still happens.
Yeah,
that still does happen.
that will probably
much.
always be. Yeah. So, I mean, I just thought, and it's still, I think, this way, but every day seemed exciting. And honestly, the first couple years especially, I was like, I can't believe I get to do this every day. It was just such, to me, and I know we say this a lot, today's the best day ever. We really feel like that. We're very optimistic people in the office here. But it literally felt like after really working for 20 years for somebody else and giving myself to other businesses and helping other people make millions of dollars and then, being able to just do something for me or for my family, it was just unreal that I got to do that. Every day I was like, I can't believe that I get to do this today. And it's still like that. I still enjoy it. And, if I ever lose that here, I'll probably move on to something else. But even to this day, like I get excited to come into the office and see Brackensenda. It's great seeing you too.
What?
Brackensenda.
Okay.
So yeah. So I think that for me, there's so many memories I could share. I remember setting up our desks. I remember painting the offices. I remember building our sign. Everything was handmade. I remember putting desks together with pieces of board we got from my dad's factory, and just.
You always knew when clients were coming because you could hear them coming down the ramp.
Yeah.
Because you could hear everything up there.
The steps.
Everything was like so thin walled.
Yeah.
You could hear everything.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. So those were some really great times, and I love it. And so again, to me, today is still the same adventure.
Here's a memory for you.
Let's hear it.
I actually made these tables, remember? So the tables came in.
I do remember.
And I put the legs on with a little screwdriver and some screws. No, it was a screw gun, I think.
Yeah. So you had to assemble the legs.
Yeah, I put them on the floor, and I just screwed them all in.
There's a bar that goes across the bottom.
And so it was like 30 screws in each one, okay? And then I get done, and I lift the table up, and I realized that I couldn't lift the table up because I screwed right into the floor. The screws were like way too long.
The original wood floor from 1905.
Yeah. Nobody knows that because you really can't tell.
No, wood heals nicely.
Yeah, but the screws were way too long, and I just wasn't paying attention. And I did like 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
I did all of them, and then I realized, oh, shoot.
They're all stuck to the floor.
Can't pull them up.
This was in the day we were like, what can we give Zack to do? Like, we can have him build some. And then even then we were like, we can't.
I'm not a handyman at all, yeah.
He came from a wood factory. He came and put tables together.
I was happy to do it, but I had no idea what the heck I was doing, yeah.
Yeah, that was, I do remember that. And
That's
I
why
was
didn't
mortified.
do my desk. You didn't do my desk.
Yeah, I didn't do hers.
I was mortified to see what it was going to look like when we unscrewed it, but you really couldn't tell. So we were fortunate there. So, all right, guys. Well, listen. I mean, we could go on, and I know
we will. Fasten your seatbelt. Get comfortable.
Well, I think I just want to cheers to us. I mean, unless you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about. Cheers to us.
If you don't want to, we're good.
We had some guest questions we were going to get to, but I think this is a good way to end it. Let's raise our glasses, our AZEE mugs, and Zack's got his big beat. Let's cheers.
I can't reach that
Here's
far.
to 5 years and to 5 years more. It's been an exciting ride here at AZEE Business Solutions, and we hope to be doing this for a long time as we continue to grow and expand. And if you're a business out there and you're looking for a way to grow your brand online, digitally, through the use of web design or social media or through email marketing, or if you need some graphics design for you, some branding, we would love to help. And we have a talented team here, and we work with a number of talented people that would be excited to be a part of your project, and we hope to work with you. But every week we allow one of our guests to play a game that we call Say It in 60.
Yeah.
And I never get to play. I'm always the host. So today I think Zack is going to be the host.
Okay.
Zack, I have the questions right here that we ask our guests
Let me find
every
the app first. I forget what it's called. There it is. I found it.
Well, today I don't need to spin the wheel because today.
Oh, you don't?
It's National Cheese Puffs
What are you
Day,
playing
so
for? The Cheese Puffs?
Didn't you buy me some Cheese Puffs to play for?
Yeah. So if you get them all right, then you get the Cheese Puffs. If not, they stay in my possession.
But I don't even really like Cheese Puffs.
You can give them to your kids.
I'll give them to my kids. So today I'm playing for a bag of Cheese Puffs because it's National Cheese Doodle Day. Is that what it's called?
Cheese Doodle, yeah.
Cheese Doodle Day. So I'm playing for some Cheese Doodles. And
so Brenda has 1 minute on the clock there.
We have 10 questions.
60 seconds.
Okay.
Do I have to push start?
Yep. Once I ask the first question, we're going to start. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for joining us for the No Easy But podcast, by the way. It's been a great time today.
Fantastic time.
All right. Say it in 60. Tony Nash.
I'm ready.
Your time starts now. What is a must-read book?
The Bible.
Which book of the Bible?
Philippians.
Good. Number 2, what is a daily habit that everyone should do?
Be happy and do something you love.
Number 3, what is your favorite app?
Favorite app
on your phone?
Ooh, there's a lot of good ones. Favorite app. Oh man, I'm panicking here.
ESPN.
ESPN app. Yeah, I love the ESPN.
What's your
app.
favorite
Thank you,
podcast?
Favorite podcast is Bill Burr Monday Morning Podcast.
Oh, nice. Number 5, what is a must-watch?
Must-watch movie Rocky IV. No Easy
Number
Way
6,
Out.
what's your why?
My why is to my family, my kids.
Number 7, what's your best piece of advice?
Best piece of advice is be happy and do something you love every day.
Number 8, what's your favorite quote?
You can't, never could until you tried.
Who quotes that? Whose quote is that?
My mother.
Who do you look up to?
I look. Oh man, I look up to so many people.
What is success
2
to you?
seconds.
2 seconds.
What's success? Say it. What's success?
I didn't do it.
You did.
Boy, that's hard.
I was milking the time, though. Let's be honest.
That's hard. That is hard. You know what?
I was trying for you not to get it.
All of our guests have said it in 60, and apparently I cannot. So
I was milking it.
I'll answer the questions. I look up to my father. If I could be half the man that he is, I think I would do a great job. He's a great man.
And what does success look like to you?
Success to me is fulfilling your purpose.
Great answers. But you don't get the cheese puffs. Sorry.
No cheese puffs.
Didn't get them in time.
No cheese puffs. Well, you guys got any final words for our audience?
Watch my short film, Operation Sanders.
Operation Sanders. That's a good one.
Link in the description. I'll put it in there for you.
Okay. Brenda, you got anything you want to plug?
Nothing.
Did you enjoy being on the podcast?
I did.
First time?
I did.
She was petrified. But see,
little
here's
nervous.
another thing that you
Little
just.
nervous.
Yeah, my first time I was really nervous too. I was
Were you?
Oh, you had me reading some questions. Yeah, and I was like, dude, I don't know how to read very well.
Let me tell you, I have spoke in front of hundreds of people, and if you asked me right now to stand up in front of a group of people and speak, I wouldn't be nervous. But the first time we did this podcast, sitting at my own desk with my own cameras, nobody watching, turn the lights on, I was extremely nervous. So if you go back and watch episode 1, it's bad, so don't go watch it.
We actually we filmed it like 3 times, didn't we? Or twice.
Yeah, we were struggling.
Yeah.
But, thank you guys for being on the show, and thank you for 5 years, and here's the 5 years more. Brenda,
Thank you.
any final words for our audience?
None.
None?
I'm good.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Stay classy. Thanks for being with us, and thank you for watching. As my mom always says, you can't and never could until you tried, so go out there and try something great, my friends, and don't take the easy way out. We'll see you next time.